Consider the following statements. The Parliament is not empowered to make laws for union territories having legislature on subjects under state list. The Lieutenant Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi is not empowered to promulgate ordinances during the recess of the Assembly. So regarding statement number 1, the Parliament is not empowered to make laws for union territories having legislature on subject under state list. See, in case of, normally the submission schedule has union list, state list, concurrent list. So in case of union territories, the Parliament is empowered to make laws on any subjects under union list or state list or concurrent list, not an issue. See, regarding state list, for respective state legislature make laws. Okay, there is exclusive domain of whom? The state. But in case of union territories having legislature, say example Delhi, Puducherry or Jammu and Kashmir, they are also having what? Legislatures of their own. But even then, the Parliament can make law on subjects under state list for those union territories as well, not an issue. Clear? So 1 is a wrong statement. Why? Because 1 says that Parliament is not empowered. But actually Parliament is empowered to make laws. Clear? Regarding 2, the Lieutenant Governor of National Capital Territory of Delhi is not empowered to promulgate ordinances during the recess of the Assembly. So what is meant by recess? Recess means break. Break between sessions. See, session is happening, then session is end, there is a break. That break is called recess. So what is an ordinances? It is nothing but a temporary law made by the president or the governor is normally what my ordinances. That is, when the assembly or the house is not in session, the respective head of state is empowered to make a temporary law for the land. Similarly, in case of UTs having a legislature also, when that assembly is not in session, that is what meant by recess here. At that time, the Lieutenant Governor is also empowered to make ordinances, not an issue. Lieutenant Governor has the power to issue ordinances to meet the emergency situations. What here it says that he or she is not empowered. That is wrong. He or she is empowered to make ordinances during the recess of the assembly, not an issue. So here also both statements are wrong here. Answer becomes option D. That is neither 1 nor 2. Consider the following statements. The writ of habeas corpus can be issued against both public authorities and private individuals. The writ of quo warranto cannot be issued against a ministerial office. Find out the correct statement. So this is regarding the writ jurisdiction. Under Article 32, writ jurisdiction of Supreme Court, and Article 226, the writ jurisdiction of High Court is concerned. So what are the various kind of writs issued by the Supreme Court or High Court? See, writs means a kind of legal order. So what is writ? It is nothing but a legal order issued by the competent court for the enforcement of fundamental rights. If a right is being affected, the respective court can issue what? Writ. Writ means nothing but a legal order to make that rights enforceable. So there are 5 kinds of writs called habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari as well as quo warranto. These 5 kinds of writs can be issued by the competent court. So what is habeas corpus here? Here means if a person or a public authority detained another person, then the court can issue a writ of habeas corpus and ask that person to present the other one in front of the court. Assume a person A or a public authority A detained a person B. That is, B is under the custody of whom? A. Then the court can issue habeas corpus against whom? This A. And ask A that you bring or you produce B before the court. That is what meant by habeas corpus. And see, writ of habeas corpus can be issued against both public authorities as well as even against a private individual. Writ of habeas corpus can be issued by the competent court. Read the first statement. Writ of habeas corpus can be issued against both public authorities as well as private authorities. That is a correct statement. Regarding quo warranto, what is quo warranto? It is nothing but ensuring the legality of claim of office. Legality of claim of a public office. That is, the court asked that By what authority or by what grounds you are holding that respective office? Who gave you the authority? On what basics or based on what qualification you are assuming that office? That is what meant by quo warranto. That is ensuring the or checking the legality of claim of a public office. Clear? And this can be issued only against public office and cannot be issued against a private individual. Also cannot be issued against a ministerial office. So I repeat once again, a writ of quo warranto can be issued only against a public authority which is created by the constitution or any of the statutes and cannot be issued against a private individual, cannot be issued against if it is a ministerial office. Now read statement number 2. Writ of quo warranto cannot be issued against a ministerial office. That is a correct statement. So since both are right here, answer becomes option C, that is both 1 and 2. Okay. Which among the following will necessarily occur if the Prime Minister of India is a member of Rajya Sabha? See, in our country, the Prime Minister can be from either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Similarly, if a state having bicameral legislature, a chief minister or any minister can be from either assembly or from the council, not an issue. But see, in case of UK, the Prime Minister must be a member of lower house. But in case of India, that is not necessary. He or she can be from either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, not an issue. So what will happen if a Prime Minister is a member of Rajya Sabha? Clear? He or she will not be able to speak in the Lok Sabha. Is it so? No. Why? Because according to the rights and privileges of minister, a minister can take part in any house of the parliament. He can speak in any house of the parliament. But the thing is that he or she cannot vote. Cannot vote in a house in which he or she is not a member. Say example, the Prime Minister is belong to the upper house, that is Rajya Sabha. He can also talk or speak in the Lok Sabha, also not an issue. But in Lok Sabha, he or she cannot vote. But in Rajya Sabha, where he or she is a member, can vote. That's the only thing you have to note down. Here it says that if Prime Minister belong to Rajya Sabha, he or she will not be able to speak in the Lok Sabha. That is a wrong statement. 2. He or she cannot take part in the removal of High Court judges. Is it so? No. For that you must know how a judge of High Court is removed. It is same procedure how a Supreme Court judge is removed. How both the houses, that is Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, has to passes the removal motion by a special majority. Okay. So in case of Rajya Sabha, Prime Minister who is a member of Rajya Sabha can vote. He can take part. Not an issue. Why? Because both the houses, Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, took part in the removal motion of whom? High Court judges. So if he or she is a member of Rajya Sabha, he also took part in the removal of High Court judges. But statement says that he or she cannot take part, so B also becomes wrong. What about C? He or she cannot vote on demand for grants. Yes, that's the correct answer. So what is demand for grants? It is happened during a budget session. So what is demand for grants? Every ministries may ask, I want this much crore, or our ministry wants this much crore rupees for this concerned respective financial year. And if it is granted by the Lok Sabha, that is what mean by vote on demand for grant. That is, the demands are being granted by the Lok Sabha. And who votes for the demand for grants? It is exclusive privilege of Lok Sabha. Only Lok Sabha can vote for the demand for grants. And now you see, if a Prime Minister is a member of Rajya Sabha, can he take part during the time of vote on demand for grants? No. Why? Because it happens only in the Lok Sabha and not in Rajya Sabha. He may take part and he may speak, not an issue, but cannot vote. Here it says that he cannot vote on demand for grants. So that is the correct answer to this question. That is option C should be our answer. Why not D? He or she can vote during a no confidence motion. Is it so? A Rajya Sabha member, whether he or she can vote during no confidence motion? No. Why? Because no confidence motions took part only in Lok Sabha again. So a Rajya Sabha member cannot vote but can speak. Here says that he, she can vote, actually they cannot vote. So if a Prime Minister of India is a member of Rajya Sabha, he or she cannot vote on demand for grants. Also he or she cannot vote during a no confidence motion is being carried out there. Clear?